What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. As you guys can see up on the screen today, I want to talk a little bit about Sofi Technologies Incorporated once again. This is a stock that we've been following a lot recently on this channel. The videos have been doing pretty well, and it seems like, people enjoy me kind of covering this stock, talking about what's going on, all the latest news and stuff. And it's also a very, very fun one for me to follow because there always is a lot of news and there always is a lot of volatility and movement. Obviously, today was a lot of negative movement and negative volatility, and probably not what a lot of people who are looking for videos and content about SoFi are looking for. This thing was down 5.56%, and this was really, really rough. Now, obviously, overall today, everywhere you look, it was a very, very bad day for the stock market. The Dow Jones was down 0.5%, S&P down almost a 1.5%, which is a very, very big downward day for the S&P. Nasdaq down 2.5%. That is pretty crazy. I mean, that is, you don't see that too often. Obviously, some people are predicting 2022 is going to be a rough year or market crashes or whatever, and in that kind of environment, yeah, maybe you start to see some 2-3% downward days, but from what we've seen over the past couple of years, there have not been too many 2.5% downward days for the Nasdaq, and then the Russell actually holding up better than the S&P and Nasdaq, only down 0.75%. But obviously, here is SoFi outpacing all of those, which isn't necessarily surprising. More volatile, more speculative stocks like SoFi is, with a lot of growth projections into the future, a lot of uncertainty, and some inherent risk, is usually going to overperform the market on the up and down side. So when we do see kind of this rough market, yeah, you're going to see SoFi most of the time beat down kind of more so, which obviously sucks. But this is just more of the same story that we've seen throughout all of 2022 so far for SoFi Technologies, down 16.5% now year to date. Just a single green day in the market. This was January 11th. We got this little run from 1337 to 1394. That was nice. Some people were hoping that would be the start of some upward movement, some upward trajectory. We had like a 4% up day, but that has not been the case. Again, that has just kind of been swallowed up, and it's just been a really, really rough year so far. It has been tough for SoFi, but we do have a couple of different stories and things going around surrounding the stock. Some more potential bad news, some more potential good news, just giving you guys all the up-to-date latest information and everything. So we had another article from investorplace.com about SoFi stock. It seems like they're just always having a new article out about SoFi. It must be, I'm sure their content's doing really, really well over there too, because again, there's a lot of people who are curious about this stock. And they say why the Federal Reserve's rate hike matters for SoFi stock for now. And obviously I thought that was very, very interesting. I kind of wanted to dive into it. So as I say, after the Federal Reserve said that it would raise interest rates in 2022, and this is something that has definitely impacted the markets in a large way. You can see as soon as the Fed, kind of started changing their tone about these things, the market really did start to flip in a meaningful way. At least 3 times, SoFi Technologies ended its upward trend. Few investors will find a correlation between the market's risk-off or aversion to less established credit service firms to SoFi stock. Since the market is a forward pricing machine, SoFi's slump in the last few months reflects minor headwinds ahead, again, at least projected by the markets. In the year ahead, markets expect tighter monetary policy will favor the established credit card companies. Financial institutions also thrive in higher interest rate environments, again, which could be good for SoFi, but the more customer deposits banks have, the more interest the more interest income these banks are going to occur. So obviously, SoFi getting that bank charter, being able to take on more debt, being able to take on more loans, having more of those, income sources and everything coming in, it would potentially be really, really good for SoFi. But the question is, how well is SoFi going to be able to do in this environment? So in light of SoFi facing tougher conditions, what is the emerging fintech's prospect in the year ahead? They talk about Catalyst, the bank charter approval. We've covered a bunch. They acquired Golden Pacific Bancorp on March 9th of 2021, and some of that stuff. But some of the risk, obviously, is that SoFi is not a top app in the App Store. So again, even though sometimes or many times or oftentimes or all times, financial institutions thrive in these higher interest rate environments. They're able to charge higher interest rates, they're able to get more income from those interests and everything. SoFi is not a top app in the App Store. It ranks at around 100. This is in terms of just fintech apps even. By comparison, Venmo, which PayPal owns, is third. PayPal, the actual PayPal app from PayPal, is second, and Cash App from Square is actually the number one, kind of fintech, financial, whatever app in the App Store right now. So again, SoFi is down all the way at 100. And these are big, big, big competitors at the top they're facing, but then even a lot of medium and smaller competitors in between. So even if interest rates are going up, even if SoFi could potentially, if they are able to bring in more business, make more money off that interest income, people have to be coming to them in the first place. So, there is really that challenge of being able to acquire more customers and being able to compete in this space and in this field when you have massive players like Cash App, like PayPal, like Venmo, all these, especially ones that seem to be more popular, with like the younger generation and people who are on their smartphones and all this stuff. So, it's gonna be tough. The demand for payment apps suggests that people will have a low priority for banking and loan offerings, obviously, which would be tough as well. SoFi's low ranking will lower the chance of customers discovering its offerings. Investors who bought SoFi shares at higher prices may hold off on averaging down. They may wait until the next quarterly earnings report to assess the firm's cost structure, which will be very, very interesting as well. Again, obviously, the student loan moratorium being lifted is going to be hopefully a big thing for SoFi as well, and they're a post-SPAC company, which those have not been doing too well as of late either. We did have another new weekly bulletin coming out for people looking to see if SoFi was going to be listed under their the new bank charters or whatever, to see if SoFi's bank charter approval is going to be announced or if this was going to be public news or knowledge or whatever. I don't know why this post was removed from Reddit, but spoiler alert, SoFi was not on there, so they still at least publicly or as an announcement yet have not gotten that bank charter just yet, but I know some people were looking out for this weekly bulletin. This is just from January 2nd to January 8th. Obviously today's January 13th, so maybe some things have happened in between then. Maybe something will be posted next week, but again, as of this week, still no new update or no new news for the bank charter situation. And then a follow-up to kind of an older story. Obviously, Rick Fowler, one of the guys from the Golden Pacific Bancorp, was suing SoFi, or has been in the process of suing SoFi or whatever. This whole lawsuit situation about trying to get more money for shares, or just, I don't know what the exact details are, and it was kind of hard to Google and find, about Mr. Fowler, having a lawsuit against SoFi related to the acquisition of Golden Pacific Bancorp over to SoFi and having some kind of issues there. And people were worried that having that ongoing, lawsuit investigation, whatever, pending, that could potentially be impacting the bank charter, the acquisition of that bank charter, if this was going to be kind of a hurdle in this whole thing, if we'd have to wait for that lawsuit to play out, or if we'd just be good to go. But this was posted to the SoFi stock subreddit today that SoFi Investor Relations confirmed, at least, they're claiming that Fowler's lawsuit is not an obstacle to the bank charter application. So this again says, no, the lawsuit did not in any way impede our bank charter application process. All of our deliverables are in, and the agency investigations have been completed. Timing is out of our hands. So it seems like everything has been finished. It seems like everything went off without a hitch. Again, we're just kind of waiting for that approval to go through. We're waiting for the announcement process, whatever. Maybe it'll come out in the next earnings report. Maybe we'll hear about it sooner than that. I don't know. Some people are speculating that it usually happens at the beginning of months. Other people are saying, no, it can happen really any time. So we're just kind of waiting and seeing. But at least, this is one source that, I don't know how good of a source or how official or however much you want to read into this. This is just at least one person, posting their evidence for how they believe the Fowler lawsuit will not be an obstacle for SoFi getting the bank charter. And again, that could be very, very good news. They are saying that the source is Santa Chloe. And this they said that somebody follows them. Mail above was sent by her husband, and she is followed by Anthony Noto. I'm not saying that I know this is true, just passing it forward. I'm counting on the community will spread more light over this if it's not true. So again, take it with a grain of salt, but that's just at least what one person is saying about the situation. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about SoFi stock. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, save today, and all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.